Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Jordan Young, and this is another certified hood classic bussin' banger. As you guys know, about a month ago I did a sneaker collection video where I took you guys through pretty much all the sneakers. I want to say about 80% of the kicks that I currently have in my collection. And it was after sharing my collection that I decided to try to trim things down. For those of you guys that follow me on IG, and if you don't follow me on IG, you should, because you might happen across a couple of cheeky steals and deals. You'll know that I've been pretty much selling most of the pairs that I've been looking to get rid of exclusively through my stories. And I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody that has bought from me over the past month, because pretty much everybody that's bought from me has trusted me to send me money via PayPal, friends and family, which saves you and me on fees and is a pretty solid reassurance of the trust that you guys obviously out there have for me. One of the things that's become apparent to me as I've been selling my sneakers on IG this past month is the extent to which people have gone to offer their condolences and sympathies. If you hadn't had the context of the previous videos where I pretty much explained the reasons for my wanting to sell some of my sneakers, you could be under the misapprehension that I've fallen on some financial hardship, or maybe the iron fist of my wife, who I recently got married to, has now come down upon the mountains of shoeboxes stored up in the loft and dotted randomly around the house. Like the amount of messages I've had from people saying, "Bro, why are you selling your shoes? Are you giving up on the game? No, don't leave us," has been welcome in a sense, but also kind of funny in another sense. The other funny observation that I've made that's obviously not going to be unique to me. If you've ever sold a pair of shoes, you've probably come across this type of an interaction, but it's where people feel the need to message you about a pair of shoes that you're selling that they would only be too keen to buy were they just in their particular size. Honestly, the amount of messages I've had from people saying, "Bro, I would love to buy these if they were just my size." Or the words of encouragement to keep shoes that I'm selling, like the amount of people I've had message me say, "No, why are you selling these? These are so cool, you should keep them," as if I hadn't thought to keep them in the first place. So one of the great ironies in me trying to trim down the sneaker collection is that this year I will undoubtedly replace all of the sneakers that I have sold. The reality of being a content creator, or at least doing this as a gig part-time, is that I need to buy new sneakers in order to talk about them for the channel. It's a crazy realization to come to when buying sneakers is kind of part of the job description. Broadly speaking though, I have way more sneakers than I have time to wear them. I have over 120, I want to say now, pairs of shoes, but I really only wear the same 2 or 3 pairs during the week. And these are the beaters. I've told you guys before, in my area, because I wear the same shoes all the time, I'm known as the guy that desperately needs some new kicks. I'm also in my comfy core phase right now as well. This latest mesh runner trend is fantastic for me because I like wearing these comfortable running / walking shoes. Certain retro Jordans, whilst they'll always have a special place in my heart, aren't as attractive to me to chuck on when I'm heading out the door. So unless it's comfy, unless it's something I really need for the collection, I'm finding myself looking at sneaker collecting in a much more selective way. Right, so let's go through some of the sneakers that I have sold over the past month. A lot of these sneakers I've sold for very cheap, like well under what I paid for them. A good example here are the Pine Green SBs. Got these for retail. Pretty sure I sold these for retail or under. The Nike Mac Attacks, these were brand new as well. I sold these for well under retail. I think maybe like half price, 50 or 60 quid. The purple SBs, the Court Purples, I sold those way under retail as well. Also sold the Trocaderos, which is a nice pair. I just couldn't really see myself rocking them. I sold those for well under retail as well. These ones were a little bit more difficult. I ended up selling my Jaritos SBs as well as the Cortez Air Max 95s, as well as the Amamanier Jordan 3s, as well as the J Balvin 3s. Both pairs of the J Balvins, actually, the white pair and the dark pair. And I also sold the Haisa Leals for a cheeky steal, I think like 50 quid, as well as the Bad Bunny Forum. So sometimes when you sell a pair, it motivates you to sell another pair, and you end up just opening the floodgates. And that's what happened to me when I decided to sell the Jaritos. And I ended up selling them for a little cheeky profit as well as the Air Max 95s, the Cortez. I think I sold them for around $350 and I ended up buying those for around $220, $240 or something like that. The Amamanya 3s, I think I pretty much got my money back on those, around 300 pounds I sold those for. The J Balvins, I bought those for $280, sold them for around $340. The black pair of J Balvins, I actually got those for free in a sneaker deal that I did, so that was all profit. That was like $250 I might have got for those, maybe a little bit less. Also sold the Year of the Dragon Jordan 1 lows, just sold those for a cheeky steal. A big pair that I sold were the Travis 1 low reverse mochas. This is a pair that I decided to sell after I ended up wearing them. I chucked them on one day, they were a UK 10, and I was just wearing them thinking, why the hell have I got these in a UK 10? Generally, Jordan 1 lows run a little bit big, and my true to size is a UK 9 to a 9.5, so they just felt way too big on my feet. So it was actually after wearing these, I decided to just float them and sell them. I ended up getting close to my money back on these. I sold them for around 800 pounds, I want to say. And getting rid of a pair like that, you know, big sort of Travis type grail, motivated me to replace it with another Travis grail in kind. So I ended up selling the reverse mochas and replacing them with the Travis SBs. I think the Travis SBs I paid $725, and then the reverse mochas was $850 out. So I feel like that was a pretty good kind of like for like. Also sold the Air Penny 2 Stussies for a real steal. I sold my hidden Asics that were just a little bit too big. Cool Great 11s, they were brand new, sold those. Another big pair that I actually sold on eBay were the Kanye West Louis Vuitton Dons. I sold those for 700 pounds, which is more or less what I paid for them back in the day. The Huff Air Max 1s, sold those for cheap, like 60 quid or something like that. Also sold the CPFMs, man, 240 pounds I think I sold those for, which is a little bit less than I paid, but that was a cool pair to get out the door. I just never really saw myself ever wearing those. Also sold some Timberlands, and there might have been one or two pairs here and there that I've missed, but that's basically it. So in terms of the pairs that I bought this past month, bro, 3 pairs. Got the black toe ones. I bought these mainly for the channel because I was able to get my hands on these early, obviously, and the price for early pairs wasn't too bad. So I paid a little bit over retail for these, about 200 pounds. The Travis SBs, as you guys know, I got those in as a bit of a replacement for the reverse mochas, which I think was a good thing to do. And I got a new pair of running shoes, these On Cloud Boom Strikes, I think they're called. I got these from eBay, worn a couple of times, and these retail for like 260 quid, but I ended up getting them for around about 190 pounds, I think, from eBay. And these are going to be the next pair of running shoes that I'm going to be enjoying soon. So what are you gonna do with all this money you've made, bro? You must be... It's not like I've got crazy money from all of these sneakers. Like I just went through with you guys, a lot of the sneakers I sold at massive losses. A lot of the sneakers that I paid retail for, I ended up selling, 50% off the retail or whatever. In a lot of the cases, I really just got my money back. So the purpose of this vid has definitely not been to show you the merits of reselling sneakers. I think even with the little profits that I've made on certain shoes, I would have barely broken even with all of those sneakers, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not complaining, but what am I gonna do with that money? Well, I'm gonna invest it back into the channel, whether it's upgrading some equipment, maybe the camera. Definitely going to be looking into some exciting upcoming sneakers to get early so I can bring you guys some interesting reviews and help bolster the channel that way. And so yeah, that's the plan, man. Take the money that I've made from selling the sneakers and just put it back into my sneaker channel one way or another. And so the question is, how much further am I going to take this? And the answer is, bro, I don't really know. I could certainly stand to get rid of a whole bunch more. Like just looking around, there's so many pairs of shoes that I haven't worn in a long time, but sometimes when I go to make that move, I'm like, nah, I like having them just sat there, being available. That's what I like. But yeah, who knows? What I would recommend though is if you're not following me on IG, go for it. You might come across a steal or a deal. It brings to mind though, what is the ultimate number for a sneaker collection? Is there a number? I guess it's going to be relative to the space you have available. Everyone's different, but for me, the ultimate sneaker collection is something that's being regularly worn, rotated, something you can enjoy looking at, something that you can be proud of, something that gives you all sorts of different positive emotions and feelings. When I look around my collection now, I am really satisfied with what I've got. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like 100 would be a good place to get to. 50 beauties, like 50 grail type sneakers or absolute bangers, and then 50 rotator beater type sneakers. I mean, even that sounds too much. Like, who needs 100 sneakers? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. And as always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care for now. Peace.